Spring is in the air, and with that we bring a new season here in the BRL Grand National Series. We have our defending champion, Shepard, looking to put his crown on the line as the season begins anew here at the legendary Stafford Motor Speedway, the home of the SK Modifieds. Tonight will be invaded by the Grand National cars and stars of the BRL Series. And with that, we'll be having all the coverage here live on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hello, I'm Chris Foby. Joining me tonight in the booth is Jeffrey Smith. We'll have our director, Sean Ambrose, keeping it busy. And the cameras here tonight, always provided by Dougie Beard, with beautiful images here of Stafford Motor Speedway. And with this beautiful track we have here before us tonight, we are going to kick things off, taking a quick look at a trip around the Stafford Motor Speedway.
Welcome to Stafford. This half-mile oval was built in 1870 for a different type of horsepower, horse racing, and then automobile racing took over after that. This place is not as flashy or fancy as the half miles that the Cup cars go to today, but this busy oval can still put on a fantastic show full of action for the fans and intense competition for the drivers. Uniquely banked, it poses a challenge for all comers. Turns 1 and 2 are banked at 9 degrees, where turns 3 and 4 are banked a little less at 7 degrees. The apron here at Stafford is known for being very wide but flat. Only the bravest of drivers with the utmost grip can make passes down there. Short tracks equal close racing and usually leads to shorter tempers. Keeping calm at Stafford rewards the drivers. It's like the old racing expression, to finish first, you must first finish. Corner exit tends to be the most challenging place on the track, where the fast lane sweeps right out of the corners towards that wall that awaits you. Stafford is an old, worn-out surface, so managing the tires is also key to finding victory lane here. All in all, Stafford poses a fun challenge to drivers, and it's always sure to put on a great show. So settle in, buckle up, it's bound to be a great race.
And that's a quick look at how we get it done here in Stafford Springs. Now, to give us a little bit more information on the track, we're going to throw it over to Jeffrey Smith. Jeff, what are the toaster facts here at Stafford Speedway?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Chris. That was freaking awesome, man. I look at this track and I think New Hampshire. If you guys are big NASCAR fans, you know New Hampshire's just a long, drawn-out mile-long track. This is only a mile, but it is set up identical to New Hampshire. So I'm really excited to watch these guys go tonight. We got a little bit of a banking, which is the biggest difference between here and New Hampshire. So these guys are going to have to watch their tires, manage their tempers, and manage the race, most of all.
That is very true. And speaking of managing your temper, if you're feeling a little bit stressed out and maybe need a trip away to relax yourselves, we have a great sponsor that can help you out tonight, the Cruise Shop. They've been in operation since 1986. They are a team of highly experienced travel agents that have a huge passion for travel. They specialize in cruises, all-inclusive resorts, escorted tours, Disney and family travel, groups, honeymoons, and weddings. They would love the opportunity to help you plan your next vacation. Give them a call at 260-755-6125 or visit thecruiseshopfw.com. The Cruise Shop is dedicated to fulfilling their clients' dreams one destination at a time. And I bet with everything going on out there in the real world, they could probably get you a heck of a deal right now. With that being said, Jeff, well, we're starting over with a fresh sheet of paper for this one. The new spring season kicking off here for the BRL Series. Shepard, obviously the defending champion, but a blank slate for what we have going on so far this season.
Yeah, and these guys did a heck of a job last season, getting everything battled out, and really some really clean races. James Lowe, J.R. Shepard were pretty much the class of the field all season, but we've seen these guys sneak up like Ruben Altice and Mike Holloway, the guys that just want to hang around and they're there to, they're sneaky good. And I really think that's where we're going to be this season also.
And definitely a lot of talent that we have in this series, and looking forward to watching them out on track here again shortly at a track that's really going to show off the driver's ability here in Stafford Springs. Now, just to go over the details a little bit of how this series operates, typically what they'll do is inversion of the previous race for the starting grid. So you'll take your 8th place finisher from the last race. He'll be starting on pole and then work your way back. This is the first of 11 races on their season. We're going to be going 100 laps here at Stafford. And the big thing in this series, no tire changes allowed. So the shoes you start on are the shoes you finish on, and you better make them last.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge tonight here, Chris. As I watch these guys, and going on the backstretch, they're getting kind of loose, and that's makes me nervous with these having to manage the tires as well as they do. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. You know, we watched these guys all last season. They did really good managing the tires. So I don't see them having a problem tonight, but tempers could flare.
Exactly. They like to say loose is fast, but loose is not great for the tire tread. So with that being said, these guys got a heavy task in front of them today, keeping the tires underneath them on such a interesting track here in Stafford. All right, and with that, practice is over, so we're going to get ready for our starting grid here in just a moment. You can see the cars populating onto the track right now. I see we have some soda cars, some purple cars, and a Sunny D car. So that's pretty cool. All right, and to start or kick off our starting grid, starting on the pole will be the man himself, Lowell Jewell, in car number 19, Donnie Moore to his outside. Then we're going to see Kurt Smith inside of row number 2, followed by Mike Holloway. Brad Speidel will be inside of row number 3 with your defending champion, J.R. Shepard, starting 6th. 7th on the grid will be Justin Morton, followed by last season's runner-up, James Lowe. 9th is John Hine, and then Joe Segala completes your top 10.
Bruce Pearson rolls off 11th, Ruben Ortiz 12th, Austin Belkey 13th, Todd Liston 14th, Mike Allen 15th, Matt Shinowski 16th, Brian Dean 17th, Robbie Robinson 18th, 19th will be Tim Shinowski, and then rounding out the field tonight, Chris Wolfson in 20th.
And exactly 20 cars on the grid for this evening's event. And just so many top names in the iRacing world out there. J.R. Shepard, of course, one to keep an eye on. He's your defending champion. But watch out for Lowell Jewell. He was 5th in the championship. And obviously, he knows these cars very well. And starting on the pole here at a track like Stafford is probably going to be a pretty good advantage.
Absolutely. These guys are going to have to make that second line work tonight, because you're just not going to get an opening on the bottom unless you move somebody, which these guys, they're good about not moving them without wrecking them. So that's awesome when it comes to iRacing, because it's hard to find some clean racing, and these guys do really good.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a couple chrome horns out there tonight for sure.
You get a chrome horn. You get a chrome horn. We all get chrome horns.
And speaking of chrome horns, that green flag is out. We are underway here at Stafford Springs. Lowell Jewell with a tremendous start. Donnie Moore already under assault from the 6 of Kurt Smith. Smith digging on the very bottom of the track, but he's not going to be able to make it happen. As we continue on now, the 31 of Mike Holloway looking to make that outside groove work. Not the preferred line around here. Oh, as Kurt Smith gets all kinds of loose. And he's going to go around.
Big pile up. Wow, Kurt Smith around. Austin Belkey involved. Todd Liston involved. Wow, that's a big one.
Well, a very inauspicious start here to our opening round here at Stafford, as the 6 of Kurt Smith gets a little bit squirrely going down the straightaway, and cars just pile in. Looks like we do have the replay handy here, so we're going to take a quick look. You can see Kurt coming off the corner, looking to make a move on Donnie Smith in the 26. He's running way down at the bottom of the track. compromising his entrance into the corner, and just comes off and gets down into the dirt, and the car just goes around, tags the 9 car, and then it's just chaos from there. Oh, looks like the Kmart car is going to be on the blue light special this week. So looking back from the 9 of Justin Morton, you're going to see, just pretty much a passenger at that point. Oh, and I didn't see that. JR Shepard getting in the mix as well. So our defending champion gets heavy into the outside Armco. You can see he's on the outside, really just along for the ride. Justin Morton gets tagged and just backs into his door, and that whole rear panel just going right into the wall. So as you can see, a heavy damage on our defending champion. Jeff, what do you think about that?
Pretty much, thankfully for them, this isn't a real aero dependent track, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. Now, with where he hit on that door, that could be the issue that I see, is maybe some handling problems. But aero wise, I think these guys will be okay. I don't see them taking. I don't see anybody taking their second car, so that'll be a real benefit. They still got one left in the tank.
Yeah, with a 20 car field though, there was quite a few heavy hitters that were involved in that. Looks like Kurt Smith, Joe Segala, and Robbie Robinson all falling laps down, trying to get those cars ready to go for our restart. Do you think maybe this opens the door for maybe we got some surprise competitors that could possibly be stepping in and stepping up?
Oh, absolutely. These guys, you never know who's going to be up front. You're going to have your James Lowe and your JR Shepard up front. But I've seen guys sneak up front, like Austin Belkey. I think he led quite a few laps in one of our races last season. Bruce Pearson was out up front for a while. Mike Holloway, that guy seems to be Mr. Consistency. I mean, it was top 5 every week there for a while, and then the track got to him later on in the season, and he just couldn't do it. Lights are out on the pace car.
Pace car is off. Green flag is back out. Lowell Jewell with another pretty solid restart. Oh, and the 26 of Donnie Moore gets spun by the 31 of Mike Holloway. Looks like they were both trying to go for the same piece of real estate, and just as quick, we are back under caution.
This is crazy, guys, because this isn't normal for us.
Well, this is the first race of a new season, so these guys are all having an equal opportunity to win the championship right now. So you got to think tensions are high out there. Everybody trying to get every little bit they can out on the track. And unfortunately, as you saw, Donnie Moore in the 26 and the 31 of Mike Holloway, both trying to fit in the same place at the same time. And even in the virtual world, that is not going to work.
Yeah, usually these guys are pretty patient. Tonight, like you said, the first race of the new season, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go tonight, guys.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're on the 9th lap of this race. I believe we'll be completing the 10th here momentarily. I think we've only had about 1 lap under green so far. These guys are very, very anxious to get this one underway.
Yeah, they're definitely fighting very early here, and it's awesome for us to see. Especially get some new guys up there battling. See Lowell Jewell still up there fighting for in first, and Brad Spidles has made his way up there from 5th. So these guys, there's going to be some surprises. Look at Tim Shanowski, 19th to 7th in 10 laps. So that's some wreck avoidance right there, guys.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge part of it, is just keeping your head on a swivel. And in fact, Shanowski is one of those drivers that can really sneak up on you there at the end. Just a nice little quiet competitor. And that being said, he was in the mix in one of those cautions we had earlier on. So maybe not the cleanest run, but sometimes just being in the mix is enough to get you up there.
Yeah, definitely just hanging around. We've seen that quite a bit last season also. Just being there at the end means the whole difference.
Also, I like the little coordination that Matt and Tim both seem to have on their cars, with Matt running that throwback Kmart Little Caesars car that Jeremy Mayfield was famous for back in the late 90s, I believe it was, when he was racing for Michael Kronifus, who became a partner with Roger Penske.
That's what I like about this season or this series is there is some throwbacks in here along with some originals, so it's pretty cool to see. I love watching these guys each and every week.
Yeah, these Grand National cars are very similar to the Cup Series cars of old as far as the what you see under the bodies of these cars. So really cool that the drivers and teams embrace that in this series and really go with the throwback schemes.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see those guys out on track with those schemes. It's just it's a nice throwback to, along with the way we do this series, you know, with the inversion and stuff. It's a real nice throwback to the, if you will, the good old days of NASCAR.
And looks like we're getting these guys doubled up, so we should be going back to green here soon. Looks like the lights are off on the pace car.
Yeah, and as we go back green here, I'm curious to see if there's going to be some tire spin. Yeah, we've only got 13 laps, and most of it's under caution, but it could be.
Well, at this point, let's just hope everybody plays nice. But right now, the gloves are off and the green's back out. And once again, a pretty solid restart by Lowell Jewell. Oh, the 76, a Spital. Both cars actually slide right up the track. Your top two, that's going to open the door for J.R. Shepard, who's now to the inside of Lowell Jewell for the top spot. They're going to be side by side through into turn number 3. JR's got the preferred line. He's down there all the way to the apron, and he'll be your leader as they cross the line. So give the lead to your defending champion, J.R. Shepard. And Lowell Jewell still caught on the outside. Now James Lowe and that 99 car looking to follow him through. And it's almost like a replay of the previous season, as it's JR on top and James Lowe, easy enough for me to say, now giving chase.
Yeah, and that was a real short shark music for those that have been watching us for the previous season, for Lowell Jewell to have JR Shepard in his rear view. He did not get to hear that music for too long tonight.
And then Bruce Pearson in the 96 up to third as well. Bruce started 11th, so he's making a strong move up through the field. Once again, 11th to third on the grid. And Andy has your top two in sights. Don't forget, J.R. Shepard, your leader, is looking strong out there. Just set the fastest lap. But he is out there on a wounded machine, so that could play a role as well.
Yeah, and as he's pulled out to a half-second lead, that is not what these guys want to see. Even James Lowe is thinking, wow, I'm doing this again.
And how about that great camera work from Dougie Beard? You can see that in-car camera. You can actually see the 07 of Shinosky breathing down the neck of Pearson in the little pocket mirror there. And taking a look at the field here. Once again, a beautiful field of cars, but Bruce Pearson is about to have his hands full here in just a second as he gets way loose off of turn 4.
Yeah, Tim Shinosky is strong tonight. You know, between wreck avoidance and, I mean, he's driving the wheels off this car too. So that makes me nervous. Is he burning it up? But 19th to 4th, that's a feat.
He definitely got his working boots on tonight. And looking just a little bit further back, Justin Morton now under assault from Lowell Jewell. Jewell dropped all the way to 6th after that restart, but looks like he's got his sea legs back underneath him. He's starting to try to work his way back up towards the front.
And Chris, that's just to show that outside line, once you get out there, it's a lot harder to run out there than it is.
Oh, Pearson slides up the track. That opened the door for the 07 Shinosky. Now to the inside. Looks like he'll just about have him cleared off the corner, and he's going to leave the door open for Justin Morton to walk through as well.
Justin Morton is going to storm through that door like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah!
I didn't think the Kool-Aid Man used doors. He was more of a break down the wall.
He's just through the wall.
So do you think is the man the jug, or is it the Kool-Aid?
That's a good question. Is that like the chicken before the egg?
Kinda, except with Kool-Aid. I'll let you ponder that one for a moment. As Lowell Jewell now looking at the back bumper of the 96 of Bruce Pearson. Pearson having some struggles there on that last lap, got hung out to dry. Oh, and now Lowell Jewell slides up the track, and that gives Ruben Altice the opening he was looking for. Sponsor on the side of that says Doomsday Tactical, probably fitting for present times.
Man, we've really got some big movers up here, Chris. We've got, you know, of course, Tim Chinoski that we've been talking about, and Chris Wolfson also is a big mover as we go to the battle for 8th.
Yeah, it looks like Lowell Jewell having to fend off Austin Belke, who's simultaneously having to fend off a charge from Todd Liston. So a nice little three-way battle for position there. Now, do you think Austin Belke might be a Jeff Gordon fan?
Man, I sure hope so. There's not a whole lot of them left that haven't transitioned to Chase Elliott fans, really, or William Byron. So you gotta love those JG fans.
And speaking of Jeff Gordon fans, Todd Liston, who may or may not be a Jeff Gordon fan, is looking like Superman out there a little bit, trying to get underneath the 24 of Belke. He started 14th, already worked his way up to 9th, and running pretty good times out there.
Yeah, these guys, and they're managing this gap between them and the leaders. They're not letting J.R. Shepard getting too far out as we watch Bruce Pearson battle with Ruben Altice.
Yeah, Ruben looking a little spicy out there, taking on a few guys, and made some pretty good passes, some bold moves out there out of Ruben, which is to be expected. Ruben, a pretty strong driver, but he's lurking there, trying to catch the 96 of Bruce Pearson.
You think he's a sandwich guy?
That could be the case. Like, you mean like a guy who likes sandwiches, or a guy that's made out of sandwiches?
That likes Rubens.
That makes a lot more sense. It'd be weird if he was made out of sandwiches. So it looks like the 96 of Bruce Pearson doing a pretty solid job holding off Ruben. But I gotta say, the 11 of Altice is just driving that car. I mean, he is charging the corners, really gets a great entry, and was kind of struggling on corner exit, it looked like, but now he's hanging with Bruce Pearson after that last little trip off of turn 4.
Yeah, and I feel like as the track cools off here later in the run,
Ooh.
and oh wow, Austin Belke on the inside of Ruben Altice.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben may have drove it in a little bit too deep into turn 1 after having that great drive off of turn 4, and he's going to give up a couple spots there.
I think as the track cools down, these guys, in these tires wear, I think it's going to even out quite a bit. And we got a track temp of 87 degrees, which doesn't seem like much, but the sun is lower in the sky, so that track temp isn't. It's kind of, you know, it doesn't show what it actually is. Like it doesn't drive like an 87 degree track temp.
Yeah, 87 degrees is a little toasty for the Northeast, but you got to think definitely as the day goes on and the track cools off, you might see the speeds pick up, but the grip levels are going to fall off fast.
And with the way these guys are driving, they are driving the crap out of these cars. So really, they're going to start losing grip, and we're going to find out where the wheelmen are.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben Altice may be the first victim of that loss of grip, as he's got the 23 car Brian Dean now underneath him for position. Brian Dean's charged up through the field a bit, picked up a couple spots. He started 17th on the grid, and there he is battling for 8th.
We got some big movers tonight, Chris. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's really great to see when you consider this is not a track that was designed to be passing friendly. The legend was when the track was being built, they purposely gave it low banking because the owner of the track wanted the drivers that came out of Stafford to be the best of the best. He thought all these tracks in the South that had all the high banking, you could throw a monkey in those cars and they could drive them. But he wanted his drivers from Stafford that moved on and moved up to be known as the best of the best, and as such, he built a low-banked track that was challenging to drive. and it can make passing difficult, as we've seen out there tonight. That is not the case today.
Yeah, P5 up here with Bruce Pearson and Lowell Jewell. Lowell Jewell is on the hunt for Bruce Pearson, and he's got to manage that gap back to Austin Belkey also.
That's right. Belkey there is looked pretty stout here at portions of this event. Looks like he may be settling in for a bit of a run now, as he unfortunately is going to have his hands full. Brian Dean in the 23 here momentarily. Lowell Jewell still trying to get things recovered. He's kind of leveled off a 6th spot. He's been there for a minute and really been trying to get back by the 96 of Bruce Pearson, but Bruce is looking pretty strong out there tonight.
And I'm wondering, this is kind of new for seeing Brian Dean up there this early in the race. So I'm wondering if maybe he finally found something there as the tires were starting to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, and how about Lowell Jewell beginning to take a peek to the outside there for a moment? Again, not the preferred way around this track, but if you're gonna make your moves, it's best to do it where the other people aren't running, and that outside groove would be that spot where nobody else is running.
Then Austin Belkey loses it and slips up, and he's going to be under fire from Brian Dean also. So Belkey's struggling right now.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of variety in the aging of the tires. And of course, looking at a battle for 9th right now with Ruben Altice still trying to hang on there with the 87 of Todd Liston breathing down his neck. But now we have several other drivers that have put their hat in the ring as well. As it looks like the 96 of Bruce Pearson had an issue a little bit further up the field. So he's given up about 3 spots. So we're going to take a look back at what happened to Bruce here. I just caught him falling back out of the corner of my eye. He really drove it in, caught the apron, and then just a little love tap from Lowell Jewell got him rooted up out of the groove, that chrome horn that we've been talking about. And unfortunately, it's not just going to cost him 1 spot. It's going to cost him 3 and maybe 4 now, as Ruben Altice gets to the inside as well.
And he may have heated up his tires trying to get it pulled down there, and that's just not going to work. You got to ease it down there with these cars, especially with this tire model. You know, we've had this now for 2 seasons, and these guys are really, really good with it.
Ooh, and maybe Lowell got a little return receipt there from Brian Dean as he went up the track, and now Dean able to jump quite a few car lengths ahead. But the 24 of Belkey there hanging out was not able to capitalize, but it is going to narrow up the gap a little bit. And how about the 98 of JR Shepard on a track that managing the tires is very important? This is probably the guy that the competition does not want to see out front. Despite the damage to his car, it is looking a little bit rough, as you see. But nonetheless, the best looking car is a winning car. Right now, JR has the winning car. As we just hit the halfway point, we're on lap 50 to go after this one. So closing in on the pay window opening up here shortly.
And he's almost pulled out to a full second on these guys. So he is ready to ride.
That battle for around the 6th spot still pretty spicy with Austin Belkey and Ruben Altice. They're battling for 7th, and Lowell Jewell still trying to run back down Brian Dean for the 5th spot. So a couple of great battles here towards the middle of the field. Ruben Altice just looking for somewhere to go, and he's probably sick of reading about DuPont right now. That's a good point that our director just whispered in my ear. If he does finish in this spot where he's running, he would be on pole next week at Five Flags Speedway.
Yeah, so that's my question to you, Chris. You know, if you know you do not have the car to compete for maybe a podium tonight, do you hang around in that 8th place spot and hope for a better week next week?
That would be a pretty interesting strategy to sacrifice what may or may not be a losing effort to maybe make a better approach next week. I mean, starting on the pole usually is a pretty good spot to be in. So
yeah, especially with this series, you know, they go to a lot of short tracks, so if you can hold the bottom and really drive the car, you don't have to give up those spots. Now, that's not to say that you're going to be able to hold it, you know, the entire race, but if you can stay on the bottom and really drive that car, you'll be okay.
Well, I work in sales outside of my sterling career on iRacing, and you know, the thing they always say in sales is always be closing, and that's kind of the attitude that I would be taking. Just my personality, I want to finish as high as I can no matter what, and I wouldn't even be thinking about next week at this point. But there's probably racers out there that are a wee bit smarter than I am, and I gotta believe that's gotta be probably something playing a role in Ruben Altice's running right now, because he really hasn't taken any real solid shots at Belky. But drivers that are taking a solid shot at the position in front of him, the 26 at Donnie Moore, all over the back bumper, the 00 at Tim Shinowski. That's actually Matt in the 00. Trying to make a run on him, and he's getting very close to that back bumper. So we'll see if Donnie Moore, who was involved in one of those early cautions after starting towards the front of the field, if he can make his march back up to the front.
Man, we did not see, I didn't see anyone, correct me if I'm wrong, that took their spare car. So if there's a late caution, this is a chance.
Well, we do have a car headed down pit road. The 31 of Mike Holloway, stationary. He's been down there for a minute.
And Ruben Altice battling,
I guess,
with Austin Belky.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben may have decided that he doesn't mind starting a little further back in the field next week, because he did finally get around the 24 of Belky after riding around behind him for quite a while.
And it looks like Mike Holloway has decided to park it for the night. I'm not sure. He didn't have too much damage. He must have just been struggling tonight, so he is done for the night.
Yeah, Mike had a pretty rough night early on, so maybe just deciding to call it good for the night. As a JR Shepard beginning to put several cars a lap down. Looks like something may have happened with Bruce Pearson as well, as he's one of those cars that's a lap down. He dropped all the way back to 14th. We'll have to look into it, see what may have happened to him. But so far, pretty clean race after those opening 10 laps here, Jeff. We've been green pretty much since those first few early cautions.
Yeah, and that's what we've come to expect from these guys, is nice, clean, long runs with you know, the struggled cautions in there. We got Lowell Jewell and Ruben Altice doing battle back here for 5th and 6th and 7th.
Yeah, it looks like Ruben just got by Lowell. Ruben once again making some moves towards the front. Maybe he decided to give the tires a rest there for a little bit when he was riding behind Belky for a while.
Maybe a little bit of a cool down period and let some grip come back to it.
Exactly. And the laps begin to close down. Like we mentioned, the pay window getting ready to open up, and it's time to put your business shoes on.
Is that like your dancing shoes?
It's similar, but more business-like. So, battle a little bit further back in the field. Mike Allen and Bruce Pearson going to work. Pearson was up there in the mix early on, but has faded here in recent times, but he's looking to recover as best he can, as Mike Allen now dealing with a mirror full of the 96.
Yeah, Pearson's going to put the heat on him, but I think Mike Allen's going to hold him off. You know, we watch him battle each and every week, so this is a good series for him. He holds his own.
Exactly. This is just such a talented series from top to bottom. You have your usual favorites, but there seems to be a new driver every week that can get in the mix and really have a shot at taking a win.
Absolutely. These guys are honestly, I can't wait till Saturday night most weeks to get on and be able to watch these guys go 100 laps. And you know, it's not just the 100 laps that they're doing here with this K&N car. It's the 60 laps that they do before it that amazes me. these guys are driving these really hard tracks for 165 laps, 160 laps a race as we go to Brian Dean doing battle from the 5th position.
Yeah, trying to give chase to the 9 and Justin Morton. While Brian Dean's had a pretty spectacular night driving up from 17th to 5th, Justin Morton, other than maybe being involved in one of the early cautions tangentially, Justin Morton has had a really quiet, consistent night running up there in the top 5, running 4th position actually. And Justin just having a really solid run out there today.
Yeah, and he's another one that's been able to sneak up and do battle with these guys like Lowe and Shepard. And Shinovsky's still doing work with these guys. Even you know, his 4 seconds back, he's still battling and keeping James Lowe in that 4-second range. So hats off to him.
Yeah, that's another driver marched up from 19th on the grid to be 3rd on the track, and on top of that was involved in one of those early cautions. Got a battle now. Ooh, Donnie Moore on the inside trying to get around Matt Shinovsky in the 00. Looks like Donnie's going to have him clear as they come off the corner. So that's going to move Donnie Moore up into the 9th position as he continues his efforts to move back into the top 10, and that's going to open the door behind him as well.
Yeah, it looks like Robbie Robinson's getting ready to take advantage of that slip up there by Matt Shinovsky as he slips back to 11th, and Robbie Robinson able to come through.
Yeah, J.R. Shepard just marching his way up through the field. Despite the fact that that car looks like it's been through the ringer, he is Mr. Consistency as always and just continues to click off these quick, great laps and has really managed traffic very well.
Yeah, and you know these guys are hearing that Jaws music. And as J.R. Shepard's come up behind them.
I gotta say, these drivers in this field very respectful as lap cars as well. Ooh, Donnie Moore getting a little bit out of shape off the corner. Just caught that one out of the corner of my eye, but it looked like the car tried to take off on him.
Donnie has done some battles tonight, so maybe his tires are starting to go away from him a little bit. And you know what I find interesting is James Lowe is actually running about a 10th quicker than J.R. Shepard, and so is these. I'm curious to see whether these times get a little bit more quick, and the gap gets a little smaller as we get through here. Now, granted, JR is dealing with some lap traffic, so that's going to be a huge thing too. And we've seen these guys deal with lap traffic, so that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I was going to say the lap cars have been pretty well behaved this evening, which is one of always my nitpicks whenever I watch a race is how well the lap cars behave themselves. But you got to think that if James is able to run that much quicker, maybe he's had a little bit better luck negotiating the lap traffic.
Yeah, and it's all about where you catch them. You know, if you catch them in a tight corner, you know, it's not going to work out so good for you. But if you're able to catch them on exit, you know, who knows?
All right, going to take a bit of a trip back through the field. Austin Belke and Donnie Moore doing battle for that 8th spot. Donnie very close to the back bumper on Belke, running a little bit closer to that white line on the bottom. Ooh, never mind that. Donnie Moore gets all kinds of squirrely off the corner. So that may open the door for a couple other competitors to slip by.
Yeah, and that was what I was worried about. You know, he's been finding his way back through the pack, you know, after that early race incident, and you know he's got to have some heat in those tires, so he's going to start losing that grip. There it is, right in front of James Lowe.
Yeah, he backs into the crossover gate there as well, so that's going to throw the caution onto the track. And on top of that, he made contact with your second place driver, the 99 of James Lowe. You can see him on the replay here. Looks like he just kind of rode the wall there a little bit, and James Lowe not able to get moved out of the way quick enough. Ooh, it looks like he may have some significant damage to that right front wheel. You'll see he's going to follow Moore off the corner. Donnie Moore just kind of gets sucked into the wall, and by the time James realizes that there's nowhere to go, it's too little too late. And yeah, the right front suspension is toast on the 99.
That's really unfortunate, guys. As you know, we've watched him rear J.R. Shepard in, so he's going to have to come in and get a spare car that's going to send him right now to 7th or 8th. So that's going to be, he's going to have to battle as we'll have 7 or 13 laps to go when we go back green here. So he'll have about that to battle through 8 cars to get back up there, maybe challenge J.R. Shepard for the lead.
And not to be that guy, but it's a little bit sad in an ironic way. James Lowe driving a Dodge tonight.
Ouch.
So nonetheless, J.R. Shepard is your leader. His lead is going to be erased by this caution. But it looks like with 13 laps left and only, well, here's an interesting little tidbit. There's only 8 cars on the lead lap, Jeff. So worst case scenario for James Lowe, as long as he's able to keep it running at a somewhat competitive pace, if he drops to the end of the lead lap, he could still end up starting on pole next week. So maybe that's why he's not giving up that primary car.
I'd have given up the primary car, come in, get that fresh car, and be able to come right back out, start 8th, and then maybe have a shot. But this track isn't aero dependent, so as long as there's not suspension. Now, looking at the car, it definitely seems like there is. But if there's none there, why not?
Well, James Lowe very much just gonna send it kind of guy. So would not surprise me one bit to see him maybe give it a few quick shakes on the wheel, see that it's driving relatively suitable for what he needs. And I mean, with just we're at 14 laps left right now, probably going to be 13 by the time we get back to green. Why not give it a shot?
Absolutely. You know, somebody's got to challenge J.R. Shepard, and if he doesn't, Shinosky will. So and that's where this is going to get interesting too, is because they just had that long run. So you had heat in the tires. Now you get that cool-off period. Now you're about to go back green again. What kind of tire spin are we going to have? Is Shinosky going to send it in there and give Shepard a little bit of a bump? You know, these guys, they play nice until it's time to go.
Well, we're going to see if it's time to stop being nice and start getting real as the pace car pulls to the infield. Off a turn 4, green flag is back underway. And already
Shepard
the field going crazy behind him. But nonetheless, J.R. Shepard able to jump out to the lead. Ooh, Ruben Altice looks like he may have gone around, caution flag back out. And, oh, that's Altice and the 23 of Dean in the mix as well.
So I think that's going to be a situation where cautions breed cautions. You know, like I said, you got these guys bottled up. Oh, wow, he just gets a shove.
Probably the tires playing a mix as well. Then Dean slides up the track, tagged the back of Altice, and just sent him spinning. Lowell Jewell caught up in that, and trying to see that red and white car in the bottom that destroyed the front end. Couldn't get a good look at who that was. But Havoc reigning supreme on that restart. And pay windows open, and looks like things are getting ready to shake down. So we're going to be joined by the 9 of Justin Morton. Justin, things are starting to get a little hairy out there. What are you seeing?
I got you.
Well, things are getting a little crazy there. This last restart. Just a few laps left. What do you think you got for him?
I don't know if I got much. I might have something for Tim. That first wreck sliding my tires really killed my tire wear compared to the rest of the guys.
Do you see a lot of guys struggling with tires out there, or do you think it's maybe a localized problem?
I think everybody's struggling, but I might be struggling the most, or pretty much anybody who's slid the tires trying to stop wrecking.
Well, that's been quite a few people tonight, Justin. What are you thinking here for the last 10 laps? You think we're going to see any more cautions? You think we got clean run-ins ahead of us?
I hope we get clean running. This should be a good finish.
All right, well, we'll let you get the belts tightened back up and get back underway.
Thank you.
So, Justin Morton in the 9 car, nice enough to talk with us for a minute. He's one of those drivers that's been mixed up in an incident earlier in the night. He's been able to ride it out and running fourth after a rough race, but you're saying you're seeing something on the 9 car, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm actually seeing sparks off the left rear of Justin Morton as he goes through those slightly banked curves. So I'm wondering maybe if he's got some rub there. Now, granted, I don't know that it's going to do too much, but that piece may come off.
Well, that would probably not be great, having some debris that size on the track. We're under 10 laps to go as the lights go out on the pace cars, so we'll be restarting. Looks like we'll be restarting with 7 to go. J.R. Shepard leads a wounded James Lowe to his outside. Number 9 of Justin Morton with some rough tires. The 07 of Tim Shinosky been involved in some cautions. So some wounded warriors up at the front of the field, but we'll see if they're able to close things out. J.R. Shepard in the 98, James Lowe in the 99. We'll see what they got left. Coming to 7 to go. Pace car is off. And the green flag is back out. We'll see how they fire off here as JR gets another great start. Slides up to block the 99 as they head off into turn 1. So far, so good up front.
Yeah, and Shepard just gets a wild restart right there. That was pretty great to watch as he just drives down off 3 and 4 there.
Now the 99 doesn't look like he's hurt too bad. Looks like he's able to keep pace with them pretty well.
Man, they're sliding them. If you watch, they are just sliding these tires. I'm not sure how they're still driving these guys.
Well, not only is the good off of those tires, but I think the bad is off as well. I think they're down to the ugly.
Absolutely. At this point, you're just hoping for the best.
So your 4 cars, all drivers that have been through different issues throughout the night. Austin Belke up to the 5th spot. He's probably had the cleanest run of everybody up in the top 5. But here comes Ruben Altice, just involved in that last caution. He's now going to work on Belke for 5th. After just being in the wall here just a couple laps ago, it seems like.
Yeah, and he made quick work of Belke. It looks like he did come in and get that spare car, so he has that going for him. He definitely drove the wheels off of it for sure.
Well, now it looks like the popsicle sticks are out. Just going to be just a pair of laps left here at Stafford Motor Speedway as the 98 of J.R. Shepard continuing to grow his lead over the 99 and James Lowe. Rolling through turns 3 and 4 right now. Looks like the battle may be for second as Shinosky and Lowe beginning to do battle, but that white flag is out. Just one circuit around Stafford Motor Speedway left to run. J.R. Shepard and that Sunoco machine. A little rough, but nonetheless, the best looking car is going to be a winning car. And tonight that winning car is going to be the 98 of J.R. Shepard as he slides it off of turn 4. James Lowe second, Shinosky third, Morton fourth. And it looks like Ruben Altice is going to come back to finish 5th. So another great night of racing here at Stafford Motor Speedway. As battling for the final, or the transfer position for next week for the pole, Brian Dean trying to get one over on the 00 Matt Shinosky. All right, and with that, we're going to head to break, but keep your eyes peeled as we preview some of the great racing action coming up here on the GSRC. Well, race fans, welcome back to the heart of motorsports in New England, Stafford Motor Speedway. A great night of racing we just saw here for the Bootleg Racing League Grand National Series. J.R. Shepard was your big winner tonight. Sorry for the spoiler. We're going to go run through our race finishing order. J.R. Shepard, the big winner, as we mentioned. James Lowe nursing that car home to second. Tim Shanowski in third. Justin Morton fourth. Ruben Altice comes from a wreck to finish fifth, followed by Austin Velke and Lowell Jewell. After slipping off from the pole position, comes up to seventh. Eighth place was Matt Shanowski in the U car, followed by Brian Dean, and then Todd Liston, our first car, one lap down, completes the top 10.
Bruce Pearson bringing that car, that 96 home in 11th. Mike Allen 12th, Robbie Robinson 13th, Donnie Moore 14th, Chris Wolfson 15th, Brad Speidel 16th, Joe Segala 17th, Mike Holloway, after a rough night for him, 18th, John Hine in 19th, and Kurt Smith with that early issues comes home in 20th.
Well, we are going to talk to our third place finisher tonight, Tim Shanowski, and the Kmart ride. Tim, things were a little exciting for you there early on. Tell us about your ride.
Yeah, it was a little crazy there early on. Had to avoid a couple of wrecks right there at the beginning of the race. I went from 19th, I think, to 7th after the first two cautions. I didn't really do anything. So, yeah, it was pretty exciting there at the start.
Now, it looked like everybody was struggling with the tires there towards the end. Did you think you maybe had anything saved in the tank for him, or was it basically just trying to hold on there towards the end?
Well, it was kind of tough to tell there because I was riding by myself for most of that race. So I knew I was gaining a little bit on Justin Morton behind me, but I wasn't paying attention to the interval between me and James in second place. So I wasn't really sure what I had there for the last restart. I think I was pretty equal with them, but I didn't really have anything to pass either JR or James at the end there.
Now, Stafford Motor Speedway, known as being a bit of a driver's track, how do you think you handled the track itself out there tonight, since you were doing so much racing by yourself, it felt like?
Well, it felt pretty good. Early on, I felt like I was overdriving a little bit, especially in 3 and 4, so I just had to make some adjustments and back up my braking points and adjust how I was braking a little bit. But I felt like the car felt good. I didn't feel like I was using up the tires too much. The car was still turning really well there, even towards the end. Before we had those cautions there at the end, it still felt good. So I'm pretty happy with how I ran tonight.
All right, Tim, anyone you want to thank that's helped make your race possible?
I just want to thank Lowell for putting on this league and everyone that races in it. It's a lot of fun. We all get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I just want to congratulate JR on his win and James for his second place. Those two are definitely the strongest in this series, and those are the two you try to beat every week. So it'll be fun going forward the rest of the season, trying to keep up with them.
All right, well, best of luck as the season continues on. That's Tim Shanowski, our third place finisher tonight. And Jeff, I believe you've caught up with our runner-up.
James Lowe, second place tonight. Seems like you and J.R. Shepard are just attached at the hip lately, and there's no splitting you guys up. How did the car feel tonight?
Yeah, the car was pretty good. I mean, we got damaged a little bit early, and JR got some damage earlier, but his looked worse than mine, but his car seemed to be a little bit better than mine, so I'm not sure how that works for the K&N cars, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. We managed to stay in second there, so that's a good start to the season, considering I don't particularly like this track.
Yeah, you guys wheeled the hell out of that car tonight, so we saw you get that damage there late. We thought for sure you would take that spare car, and you stayed out. Did you feel any difference in the right front there?
No, there wasn't any difference. I barely got into Donnie there. He caught the wall coming off, and I just couldn't, with the old tires, I just couldn't get away from him fast enough and tapped him, but that wasn't too bad, and just kept on going.
Well, great run again tonight. You and J.R. Shepard starting off the season just like you ended it. Is there anybody you would like to thank?
Yeah, for tonight, I want to give a special shout out to my race team, Balls Out Racing, especially Kyle Smalley for painting the scheme for this year, and also Lowell Jewell for putting all this on, the cruise shop, and everybody that races. It was a good race today, not a lot of cautions, so good job to all.
Yeah, we appreciate watching you guys each and every week, and we look forward to the next few weeks going forward.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, catching up with our race winner, J.R. Shepard. J.R., another one for the trophy case. How does it feel to be back in victory lane?
Yeah, it's definitely cool to start off the season that way. I really enjoy running these cars. They're a handful, especially at the end of the race, and brake and throttle control really comes into play. So it's a lot of fun that you have to work to drive these cars. You just don't mash the pedal and turn left.
Now, what was going through your mind there? I believe it was the first or second caution when the car pretty much backed into your door. Were you thinking this might be it, or did you think maybe you could make a chicken salad out of that one?
Yeah, I saw it coming and just couldn't get away from it, and hit the wall pretty hard with the right rear. So I couldn't tell what the damage was, and I thought I'd at least give it a run and see how the car felt before trying to come in and repair it. And it didn't feel too bad. So, I've never had rear damage on a short track in one of these cars. I don't know if that's something that potentially adds downforce or not. Car still felt good, so I kept running.
Very cool. Now, beginning of a new season, and you're the defending champion, so you have the target on your back. Who you're looking at as your biggest threats for this season?
There's a lot of guys, and the more we race together, the more we learn each other, and the more we figure out how to work around each other. So guys like James are always fast. Tim's always fast, and Tim's extremely good at saving tires. So I race with him on the roadside. I know how good he is at saving the tires, and he'll be one to watch. Justin Morton's always up front as well. So there's three guys that are definitely going to be up front each and every week, and you're going to have to battle them if you want to win one of these.
Now, Five Flags is coming up next week, and you're going to be starting 8th, so you got some work cut out for you. What are you thinking coming into the next race? Yeah,
Five Flags it's a cool track. It gives you options where you can possibly run top or bottom when you're around other guys, but it's one of those tracks that doesn't really fit my driving style that well. So I'm hit or miss there. It just depends on the combination we get with the track state and the weather and the way the setup of the car is. But we'll see. Again, I like driving these cars. They're a handful, and you got to conserve your tires. So we'll see how next week goes.
All right, JR. Anyone you want to thank that helped make your season possible?
Yeah, definitely Bootleg Racing League for allowing us to do this each and every weekend. Especially with everything that's going on in the country, it's nice to come here and hang out with a group of guys and have a broadcast with a GSRC. It's a lot of fun, and we have great partners like the cruise shop that make it happen for us. So really appreciate everything they do, and look forward to the rest of the season, guys.
All right. Well, once again, congratulations to J.R. Shepard, our winner tonight. And Jeff, what are your thoughts here as we wrap things up at Stafford?
This is another great race from the guys in BRL. I've come to expect nothing but perfect from these guys, and they never disappoint me. I'm pumped to go to Five Flags. Me personally, I love Five Flags. Maybe not so much in these cars, but these guys do a hell of a job each and every week. So I look forward to it, and we'll be right back here on GSRC next week. And I look forward to being here.
And if you'd like to be somewhere else in the near future, we'd like to once again thank our sponsor, the Cruise Shop. Once again, you can find them at 260-755-6125 or thecruiseshopfw.com. I want to thank the Bootleg Racing League for allowing us to host their tremendous racing, as we saw here today at Stafford Speedway. And we also want to thank the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast. That'll be listed on your screen here. Additional thanks to June Lalone, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. And want to thank my partners today, Jeff, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about the GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at /Global SimRacing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC Grant. And if you'd like to support the channel, go check out our merchandise store at gsrc.storenv.com. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to head over to our YouTube page, hit the big red subscribe button, and ring the bell so you get notified whenever we go live. We'll be back in action, same bat time, same bat channel, 1 week from today at the Five Flags Speedway. And we'll have our additional events flashing across your screen here momentarily. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.